Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Rochland Podcast. I'm your host, Rochland Perkins, and today we got a great show today. I put the shows out early just to try something new, and I already started getting comments. People are already in the live chat. Thank you, I do appreciate that. But sometimes I will miss it. Thank God I was just making all these the topics and it was so amazing. Even St. Michael's the meth head started in the live chat early. Um, Give me a second. I will say this week is going to be a great week for topics. We will be talking about stuff out of the ordinary. What's going on, Rob? And shout out to you. Uh, is that a suit? No, it's just some slacks and some in a dress shirt. And an ascot. On my black D&D shit. But yeah, I will say this. Uh, we're gonna have a quick. Hold on. We're gonna have a great show today. The question is, do Africans accept Black Americans? Looking dapper, I like it. Thank you, Robin. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. If you don't notice, on Mondays and maybe Wednesdays, I wear dress clothes. Um, yeah, yeah. Oh shit, I forgot to put this up because none of y'all can see the live chat. So. My mistake, everybody. Uh, take this off. Yeah. So yeah. We're gonna have a great show today. Definitely, it's a topic that we should talk about, and it goes out of bounds of what we usually do talk about, kinda, sorta. Some yes, others probably not. Do do Africans accept Black Americans? That has been a good question because we could look at certain things. We could look at things different. Oh, shout out to Fresh as always. Fresh always. Shout out to you, player. Um, we could look at certain things in two different lights. One light we can be like, yes, they do accept Black Americans in America. This is why some of us can come together in America. We could say no because not a lot of us is in Africa, and Africans sold Africans, and the 4% of Africans that are in America that came off the chattel transatlantic slave trade. Yes, they are the evidence that they do not like us, and we're just a business to them. You know, we can say that. You know, there's a lot of things that we can say, but I think one of them will be that. I personally do believe that, and this is just me. I don't think a lot of them like us. You know, I don't think, and like I said, I personally believe it's an envious thing. You know, it's an envious thing because, like I said, you sold Black Americans. You never came back and got us. You were still selling Africans in the 1800s. You even sold them to Asians on the east side of Africa. So what can we say? What can we say? You know that you have a certain type of love for us? No, absolutely not. I don't I don't believe so. Is can some of them? Yes, but collectively, no. Collectively, a lot of them don't like us. You know, I believe a lot of them have to leave Africa to understand Black Americans. Even the ones who are not even in Africa, they still some of the times they don't even still understand African. I mean, Black Americans. For example, when Black Americans be like, "Oh yeah, we're an admixture," you know, people get mad about that, claiming us of being anti-African. No, we're just supporting our culture. We're supporting our admixture of inventions and what's the word? Yeah, culture and lineage. You're supporting your lineage, because people are more than just African, especially in this world. A lot of these people are more than just African, you know. And through the week, we're gonna start digging deep. Hold on, America doesn't resemble any other culture in the world, so I understand why people are confused. But Robin, it comes to a point, and we're gonna talk for like another like 10, 15 minutes. Once we hit the 35-minute mark, so that's like 15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. Robin, I do want to agree to that people, it does confuse people, but people don't want to understand. I was talking to a coworker yesterday, and she got mad at she's Puerto Rican. She got mad at Dominicans because they don't claim that they are Black, and I had to explain to her that a lot of these Dominicans are damn near 50, 60% of European. I mean, lots Dominicans are European. They're European, but they're the bastard child of European, of the Spaniards. Those are the children that the Spaniards don't want to claim on once. So they are an admixture of native of Dominican Republic, was it Native of Dominican Republic, you're the Spaniard and African. And I had to explain to her, I was like, you can claim Africa more than I can claim Africa because there was only 4% of Black Americans that came from Africa. So they had to come from somewhere else, or they have already have been there. So what what can we why can't they say that they're not black? Black is a culture. It's a whole different lineage. This is why Black Americans is telling people stop the flat blackness. Black Americans are not generic Africans. And I told her, I was like, yo, if you want to be a generic African, be my guest, but you can't get mad at Dominicans when they say I'm no black. I get it now. And I told them all the time, I'm like, I used to get mad about that, but I can't get mad about it because they know something that we don't know. We have to we have to respect who they are. They're an admixture of something else. You know? We know that. So if they don't want to claim black, they would have to claim African as well. They have more African genetics probably than Black Americans. And it is what it is. Because we know Africans came to that country. We already know that there was indigenous people there. We know the Spaniards were there and probably never left. So it's what can we say? It's we can't get mad at them, Robin. So that's why I told you they're not confused. They just don't want to understand. And then when I was telling the girl that, I was like, "Won't you ask them? Won't you try to figure out why do they say that?" She said she don't care. But you get mad. I said, but you get mad at them when they say they're not black. And I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this to the Latino community. You see how I just defend you? It has never been biased. It hasn't been a biased moment with me. When y'all do shit, and I have to be like, yo, nigga, y'all do it. Just with St. Mike, with Be Active Friday. I was like, be active. You're out here calling Black Americans animals. I was like, how are you expect to how are you talking black and brown unity and you're out here calling Black Americans the ones that you want to unite with animals? And that's the conquistador in him. This is why I tell him all the time, you're white Hispanic. You're not he's not even bro, you're not even black. You're a white Hispanic. You're not even indigenous to Puerto Rico, you know? And it's all right. It's like I said, like a lot of these conversations that we're gonna be having this week are gonna be great conversations. Like Robin, we're gonna even have conversations twice this week about the white race. You know, first we'll be talking about Ellis Island on Wednesday or Thursday. Friday we'll be talking about should white Americans support reparations? Should they support reparations? No, don't feel. That's the thing. You don't feel left out. First of all, you usually learning, and that's the cool thing about Black Americans. You don't have to do so much. With Black America, you don't have to do so much. All you got to do is sit there, listen, and fall in line. A lot of these people, they tell Black people that Black Americans have the main character syndrome. You know, but a lot of these people, Robin, have a white savior complex, and they're not even white. So that's the crazy part. They have this savior complex problem. You know, the what? Let me ask you a question, Robin. You know the white woman that wants to save every black person, but she's actually really hurting the black community more than she's helping. That's what a lot of these Africans and these Pan Africans do. They hurt the community more than they help. So it it comes with the territory. You should be the main character, no matter What color you are? I'll say this, Robin. I think a lot of people should just play their spot. And what I mean by play their spot is like, today you might not be a leader. Today you just might have to just play the sideline for today. Or you might have to play the left corner or the right corner. Or you might have to be the assistant of a lot of shit. So that's where a lot of this stuff comes from. And I'm gonna say this, what's so great about and I'm gonna say this is what's so great about Black Americans. We do so, like, when we do a whole bunch, it gets taken from us. But when we do so little, or when we don't want to do anything, that's when the uproars really happen. You know, right? Most days I am not the main carrier. I am a supporter. Yeah, because you know what? You're just playing your role, Robin, and that's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. Just playing your role. You know, that's the dope thing about life. For example, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, if you haven't noticed, Jesus Christ, um, he's the mouthpiece of everything, the 12 disciples. But it was the disciples that were doing most of the heavy lift, you know. They were doing most of the heavy lifting, and Jesus Christ was the mouthpiece. He was the manager or the supervisor, as we call it this shit. That's what we call it today, you know. Animal Kingdom, the lions. The lioness does more than the lions. You know, if you ever notice, if you ever watch like the Discovery Channel or National Geographics, you'll see that the male lion doesn't, the alpha lion doesn't really do anything. He protects. He gets busy when he has to get busy with a bigger animal. So yeah, it's like, yo, you just gotta play your lane. You gotta play your spot in life. You know. Yeah, the male line sits there most of the days. Yeah, doing shit. Living life. But yeah, you just gotta play your spot in life. Sometimes it's not gonna be pretty. It's just like you use. Let me tell you something. Those supportive roles that you play, you just learn how to be a leader. If you really want to be a leader, you play your spot so good where you know what you can see what the other person is doing. That's what's so dope about actually being a leader. You know what I was thinking, actually, everybody? I was actually thinking about quitting wrestling and just going streaming full time. You know, I don't know. I was thinking about it. You know, new book I am reading today is this: The Universal Laws of Awakening. You know, and the reason why, because things don't last forever. Do I want to quit? I don't even know anymore. Wrestling keeps you healthy, though. Yeah, I know. Um, I'll figure it out this week, though. I got a lot of things to figure out this week. Actually, you know what? I think I should put that on my documentary. You know, I'm starting a documentary in 2 weeks. I think I want to put that on my documentary. Um, like I said, I've been getting into trouble all my life and stuff like that. And I'm gonna be personally honest. Wrestling has kept me out of trouble lately. Kept me from smoking. You know, I think that was the whole reason why I quit smoking. I wanted to find the perfect me. You know, I don't know, man. Everybody also don't forget to like and subscribe and comment in the live chat. While commenting in the live chat, share. I need you to share to 5 different people or 5 different platforms. If you don't have 5 different platforms of 5 different people, share to 2 people, 3 different platforms, or 3 people, 2 different platforms. I mean, three platforms, two different people. Um, and you know what? I will share to somebody right now. I'm gonna share it to one of my business partners, Wiz Mason, because I told him I be forgetting. Shout out to Wiz. I always tell people all the time I'm not the most easiest to deal with. Um, and I know that. I know I'm not the easiest, I'm getting there definitely. Shout out to Kick, Rumble, and X. Those numbers have been going up a little bit. It's those channels, those networks is a little bit harder for me. And everybody's like, "How's it hard? You could do what you did," and I'm like, "No, it's different. You could do what you did with Twitter. I mean, YouTube." I was like, "No, it's different." And the reason why it was different because I was streaming on Rumble for I think 3 months, 2 3 months, and I was like, you know what? Let me just go to YouTube. You know, like I didn't. I'm not one of those, and I know if I would have went to like I know I went to Rumble because it was a little bit more freer and I didn't have to really watch what I say. But most niggas go to YouTube, I mean, Rumble, just to talk about the small hat. We'll talk about the Jews. I don't have no problems with no motherfucking Jews. Are there elites that do harm into the world? Yes. There's a lot of elites that do. A lot of people from different backgrounds that are elites that do harm to the world, though. So, and it's, I'm gonna tell the I'm gonna give the white supremacists a, some advice. Make your money so you can make your own platform. This is what Elon Musk did. Elon Musk was like, okay, you know what? I don't like to be censored. I feel like, you know what? If we're going to use the word freedom of speech, we should have freedom of speech. So what he has done is he bought Twitter and called it X. So like we can't get mad at like what Elon Musk does on Twitter. We can't get mad at Rumble because they censor certain things. This is why I always tell people who goes to Rumble and Kick, I was like, if you want to do that type of content, by all means, I'm not telling you not to do it, but there's consequences to that shit. You know, you could do so much where it's gonna be like, yeah, man, you know what? This person is really divisive. Like Black Americans are not really divisive. We just say like, oh, well, Black Americans right now are just worrying about themselves. You know, they're worried about themselves because you know what? Nobody worries about Black Americans when situations happen. Nobody don't be like, oh, well, are Black Americans all right? Is everything going good with them? No, people don't think about Black Americans like that. And this is where, and I'm gonna go back to what Be Active said. When Be Active called Black Americans animals, this is what a lot of people think about Black Americans. They don't think that we get hurt. They don't think that like, and this will go back into what Black women. This is why Black women had. This is why Black women they're so cautious about having babies in these white hospitals because they don't think that they feel pain. And that goes back to when Black people were enslaved for a little bit, you know, where Black people will fight or a Black person will keep on getting whipped and stuff like that, and they would think like Black people don't feel pain. They're not human. They're not humans. They're not people. And this is where a lot of that stuff goes back to. And this is why I always tell people too, a lot of that stuff comes from white supremacy. Some of the stuff that we might not think is white supremacy is white supremacy. Yeah, I accept everyone at this point. I'm over. Yeah, Robert, I'm gonna say this: when you worry about only just one group of people, there's going to be that other group of people that you don't know that is harming you, really actually harming you, or are probably doing more harm than the people that you think is harming you. So definitely, Robin, I'm gonna tell you, be careful, man. Be very, very careful with that type of stuff because you know what? It's gonna come back and haunt you, Robin. Like, look at all this stuff people be saying about the small hats and shit like that. That shit comes back to haunt people. If you're saying, I'm gonna say this: if you're telling me when you're broadcasting, let's say you are right, what they're doing, and I'm just playing hypotheticals. I really hate hypotheticals, but let's play hypotheticals. Let's say that stuff is true that you're saying about these people. Why would you broadcast it? Why would you broadcast that? Wouldn't you keep that on the low and give the information to the people that you need to give it to? You don't broadcast it. Once you start broadcasting it, they're gonna infiltrate you. So this is why I say some of the stuff that the white supremacist does, and the people that a lot of these white people support, it just doesn't make sense to do. If you want to be the loudest person in the room, there's a reason why the loudest person in the room always fails. There's a reason. There's a reason why they fail. But I'm gonna say this, Robin. Those aren't your only enemies. I tell you that. Those ain't your only enemies. You know. I have to, and let me ask you. I'm gonna ask you this, Robin. What you gonna do when these other enemies come? Because you know what? As we talked about, Robin, me and you talked about on this show, and I told you, white people don't even like white people. Y'all are your own enemies. This is why when people say white power is bad and it's divisive because we know what type of white power they're talking about. White power, and I'm gonna say this: your forefathers fucked it up for y'all when they did that white power bullshit. Instead of instead of saying, okay, white power means this, y'all turned it into a very evil thing. Instead of saying, yeah, we gotta protect the white race, we are dying, we're dissolving. No, they turned it into a white symbol. They turned white power into a symbol of white supremacy. And this is where I'm saying a lot of y'all fucked it up for yourselves. And this is why I always say, you know what? Sometimes you have to shame your loved ones. You have to shame your loved ones. You know, you know the person that I am. I shame my loved ones. I have to. The reason why I have to shame them because they don't have to be out here doing dumb shit. If they out here doing dumb shit, it's gonna make me look crazy. It's gonna make me look crazy. And as I said, I have to be honest about what my people, my family do. No matter if I like it or dislike it, I have to be honest about it. You know. Also, I'm gonna tell people too. I'm about to start going back into the reactions for P Hub for them. So I'll be reacting to and I'm not gonna be stroking my tool or doing any nasty shit like that. But I do reaction videos and I be giving stars to the scenes and stuff like that. Like I will be going back into that because there's a lot of money into it. I will say this. There's a lot of money into it. You know, I was making good money just reacting to scenes like 10, 15 minute scenes and stuff like that. And after that, I'll break it down, telling but it comes from but when I do stuff like that, it comes from the artist part of my mind. Like I said, I think I got ADHD. I got the old school ADHD. like the expansion, this, the mind expansion of a cat. So like I was talking to give me a second, everybody. So I was talking to a, a coworker yesterday, and I was explaining to her that like, yo, uh, because she was talking to me, and I forgot what I think I was hearing Keith Sweat, and I started singing, but I was still listening to her. And she said, "Yo, you're not even listening to me." I was like, "No, no, I'm listening to you," because it used to be worse than it was before, but yeah, it has gotten a little bit better. I will say that. Yeah, it has gotten a little bit better over the years. You know, yeah, and I will say this: I kind of do miss it. I kind of do miss doing reactions to scenes. You know, give me a second, everybody. Mm, 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 mm. But yeah, doing reactions to scenes and stuff like that. But I will have to do OBS instead of my restream. My restream is too much. I don't want to do my restream. I will say that I wouldn't want to use my restream, but yeah, a lot of people would. They're like, "Yo, won't you use your restream?" I'm like, "Nah," because I don't want to like fuck up and let it actually end up on YouTube and shit. And like also too, I talk to a lot more people on P Hub, but most of them are they're like from Saudi Arabia and shit like that. They'd be like, "Yo, can you like?" They're like, "Yo, can you react to this?" Yada yada yada. I'll be like, I can, but I be telling them like, "Yo, some of this shit just is too much." Like they want me to do the triple G. They want me to do the triple G. It's this studio brand, and they'll be like, they be doing like 12 dudes on one girl. Some dude might be just jizzing on them, other ones urinating on them, and you'd be like, "Yo, what the fuck is going on?" I was like, "Yo, I can't." And I had to tell one guy, I'm like, "I can't do this." He's like, "Why?" I was like, "Yo, this is too much. This is too much." You know. And they were like, "Oh well, thank you." I said, "Well, you know what?" I said, "You know what? You're gonna have to pay me at least 150, $200." I was like, "This is a lot." I was like, "And I'm giving you a discount." I told him I'm giving you a discount. Like the fuck? I said I should be charging you like over $500-$600 for this shit. Because the shit was like 45 minutes. You know. But yeah, ADHD isn't even real. It's just a no, I I do lose it. My attention span isn't that long. Robin. That's why sometimes I have to tell y'all to repeat yourself. Sometimes it's just I just go blank like that. Sometimes that's why I say, yo, let me say what I have to say because I'm gonna go blank. Yeah, it's just that's how my attention span is. It's like a cat. But yeah, Robin, it's you do have to police your people. Well, that is the motto you taught me. Police your people. Yeah, you have to police your people. Sometimes, Robin, sometimes you have to be that only person to be saying no. You know, and it's like look at Black Americans. You see how yo, we are organized, but we are disorganized as well. Some things are just boring. No, they're not just boring to me. It's just I just lose a my attention span is not that long sometimes, Robin. But yeah, this is why I keep on telling you, you got to police your people. Sometimes you're gonna be that person that's to say no, and you're gonna be looking crazy out here until people understand, like, okay, what Robin was saying was true. I mean, let me ask you a question, Robin. How many times have I been telling people about Argentina? I've been telling people about Argentina for almost a year. And what did Be Active tell me? Or Rochelin, you're crazy. Bronze, you're crazy. You don't know nothing about Latinos. I'm like, Robin. I said, Be Active. Latino has a colorism problem. I said, Argentina is worse because they try to erase the black people out their culture, and they can't technically they can't erase Africans out their culture because Africans built their culture. All that salsa and all that dancing, how they play their music, how they eat, that's all African shit. They're not eating no fucking, some dry ass fucking fish and chips. They're not eating no fucking, no European food. They're not eating no Rice Krispie treats and shit like that. They don't eat European food. They eating African food. They using African ingredients. So this is the problem. This is why I say, Robin, sometimes you have to be the person to say no. I know I'm going over the time. Give me a second, everybody. I'll be back. Give me like 45 seconds. I'll be back, everyone. I'm back, everybody. I just went to go check on my kids, and they all fell back to sleep. My kids were up all night, probably, and I'm letting them stay up all night because they're about to start school in like next week. Was it in 2 weeks? So let them enjoy the rest of their summer. I think the following next week they're gonna start going to sleep early. So yeah. Um, I do want to say this. Yeah, Robin. I Argentinians can't erase African culture. They can't erase African culture. You know, that I think that's their problem. They want to erase it, but they can't. It's going to be very impossible for them to erase it. But actually, let's get back into the topic. Africans liking do Africans accept Black Americans? Absolutely not. The reason why I say they don't accept I don't think Africans accept Caribbeans either. You know, and this is just me. The reason why is because they think Africans think they're superior over Black Americans and Caribbeans. And I'm not trying to cause no division. It's just that's where a lot of these people's mindset are. We could say, oh yeah, they support them because they believe, a lot of these Europeans have culture. Yeah, it's back to school. Education is needed. So I'm gonna say this, everybody. It will be good because you know what? We could probably start the shows at like 8:45, 8:30. Hey, thanks, Fresh, always. Thank you for the coins. Um, Let me ask you a question, Fresh, always. What do I do with the coins, the gold coins and stuff? Every time I get these coins, because I don't even know what they are for. I always say thank you though, because they probably cost something. I don't know. So thank you. I do appreciate it. Just school me on to the gold coin game. But yeah, it's I'll say this. A lot of these Africans have to understand, they're not fit to lead anything. You know, not right now. Most of them are not. Like I said, the last real leader was the singer Fila. what's his name? Fela Kuti or something like that. Fela Kuti. That was the last real leader that I believe that Africa really have. Like we had Patrice Lumumba, maybe Gaddafi, because Gaddafi was a. I'll say this: Gaddafi, he was doing his ancestors, African ancestors, African ancestors, mission, and that was to make Africans resources a currency. I mean, Africans build their own currency, and I think that would have been great. But these white folks ain't gonna let you do it. You're gonna have to fight for it, you know. And with Africans, the real question is, are they willing to fight to change their currency? It will be worth it, but there's gonna be people that's gonna die. There's gonna be a lot of misinformation about Africa. So no, the real question is, are they willing for the future of Africa to change it? Or do they want to just to keep European culture? I mean, European currency. You know, that's the real question. I think you gotta. Okay, thanks. I'm a GPT it when I after the show because I need to know what the gold coins for in YouTube was for. Thank you, thank you for the coins though. I do appreciate it. Um, yeah, the gold coin currency could be amazing. Yeah. I'll say this. Oh no, gold coins on YouTube. Like I get gifts, like gold coin gifts on YouTube, Robin. So yeah, Robin, you know what? If anything, if you ever wanted to come on YouTube, you could come on YouTube as well too. But if Kick is good for you, stay on Kick. I don't mind you staying on Kick, but I still give you a shout out, you know, because you still conversate. Um, but yeah, it's a lot of these Africans. They have. I'm gonna say this. I know Africa needs help. There's no ifs or buts about it. They need help out here. You know, I send the cat. Oh, you did? Oh, hey, thanks, Fresh always for the cash app. Salute to you, player. Thank you. Hey, thank you, man. You remind me too. I gotta put this cash app stuff up. I always thank you, Fresh always. I always forget to put this cash app stuff up here because I always say this. I always adore talking and having conversations with y'all. Like I said, just respect the laws of the land and we could get busy out here. You know, they already giving your boy strikes and stuff. I'm almost done with the strikes. I got damn near less than a month left to get that strike off. You know, so I'm super excited about that. Yeah, I'm super excited about that because having strikes and stuff like that, it be messing up my pockets, man. Like, yo, man, I remember, yo, you know how hurtful I felt when I knew I couldn't get back online for a whole month. It sucked, man. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was just working out, planning, you know. That's all, you know. That's why when you see me, I was all kind of a little jacked up, a little fit, man. I was so fit. So, but yeah, and it just be like that, you know. Again, thank you, Fresh always, man. You always support me. Thank you. You and Dorsey always support me, and E will always supports me. All of y'all supports me. Sometimes it doesn't have to be Cash App. You know, y'all still support me. You know, Cash Apps is good. Thank you, but I'm not gonna beat your back in it if you don't have it. Thanks, Ray Ray. Ray Ray supports me too, always too. But yeah, it's just put it this way. Shabaka fucked it up. Shabaka fucked it up because I would have dropped the link for anybody, but Shabaka made it. Shabaka took advantage of me dropping the link for him, and he just doing stupid shit, man. Just not answering the question. And I'm gonna say this: this is how you know people are lying. Um, when they don't answer the question and they answer a question that you didn't ask them. You know, and I had to explain to my coworker. I was like, "You can't do that." And she's like, "Do what?" I was like, "You answer questions that I don't ask you." I was like, you make yourself look suspicious. I'm telling you this because I love you. You know, I don't want nobody to fuck you over. You know, don't do that. It's just you look crazy out here. You look crazy out here. You know, I'm working on a Nigerian-owned property now. Salute to the Nigerians today. Shout out to the Nigerians. Yeah, man. Well, you gotta understand, right? Yo, the Nigerians know if they want some historical shit done, you got to go to a Black American. It's We're not saying Nigerians can't do the job, but can Nigerians really trust Nigerians? That's the real question. Um, at least you know with Black Americans, you'll get the job well done because Black Americans already have a microscope on them. Once you tell them that you're Black American, they're gonna be like, "Watch that guy right there." Even your own people, even not you, Ray. I know you're not Nigerian, but even Nigerians, they'll be like, "Yeah, watch that man. He's not of us." And I'll say this: the people who stab Nigerians in the back is Nigerians. You know, it has always been like that. It's probably a geographic system and it's a tribalistic thing. But that I'm warning Nigerians. This is what That's how culturally what y'all do. So y'all have to watch out for each other. So like I said, there's nothing wrong if you're aware, but just pay attention. But hey, I hope the Pan Africans. I did make T-shirts for you, so don't think, oh yeah, Rosalind left me out. He on some bullshit. He's making me just buy FBA stuff. No, I did something for you. I made. If you go on my post, I'm making T-shirts soon. I'm doing T-shirts until the fall. Then I'm gonna make long shirts. But I made a Bronze Reaper Pan African collection shirt for them. You know, and this is why I always tell Pan Africans, you can't say shit about me because I always think about everybody. I think about my people first. My people is always gonna come first. This is why they got more varieties. But I did do something for the Pan Africans and the African community. So they can't say, "Oh yeah, Rosalind, he's on some divisive shit." No, nigga, I do something for all of y'all. I'm not gonna do no 50, no 150, 150. Was it 151 or some Africa 54 or some shit like that? I'm not doing that bullshit. I'm not gonna be making Mama Africa shit all day. But I will do something a little bit something for you. You ain't gonna get spoiled on this show like that because this is technically a Black American show. Yeah, you should do a cool Grim Reaper shirt. Know what, Robin? Email me. I will send you the logos. I'll send you the logos so you can look at it. And definitely, I will be doing something for. I know you're Irish. You know, St. Patrick's does come up, and I do specialty orders. So definitely, if you want something for like the Irish, doing something for your Irish culture, I can do that for you. Definitely. It might take me a while, but yeah, I'll figure something out for you. Yeah. So it's I be doing a lot of stuff for y'all, man. You know, I did the little basics first, so I will be doing deals too. So and also I will be making shot glasses. I think I want to do shot glasses with my logo on it. So with the BRM logo on it, the Bronze Reaper Media logo on it. I think that'd be dope. Like a Bronze Reaper, Grim Reaper that would look sick. Yeah, I would have to have somebody sketch that though. Yeah, I would have to have somebody sketch that. I do got some shit with skulls with a crown or skulls with a reef on it. So yeah, definitely we do be like I said, we do be getting busy out here. And like my team helped me put that shit together. I did most of it, but I sent it to him like, okay, yo, what you think we need to fix? Should we fix the color? Blah 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 blah. This and that. He's like, nah, we need to do. We need to do like when I was doing the red, white, and blue. He was like, "Yo, for foundational Black Americans," he said, "No, don't do that. Won't you do this? Do the red, black, and gold." That's why you got the red, black, and gold with the gray in it. So definitely, the team helped me. The team helped me with all of that, and I will be giving some free out. But I'm starting to get the equipment probably the end of August. So I'll be getting the machine presser. I mean the heat presser. Excuse me, bit my tongue. And the good thing is I'm doing it myself. I'm doing all of this myself. This isn't going through no store and having no. I'm gonna do this myself. I'm gonna get the stuff to put on the shirt. I'm gonna heat it up. We gonna get busy out here. You're gonna get handmade stuff. So best believe, like I said, you're gonna get the best of the best. You know, Mm. And like I said, yeah, we're gonna make some money out here. And this is just another venture that I am doing. So yeah, best believe, thank you. I do appreciate it. The people who are gonna buy the shirts. Give me a second, everybody. Mm. Yeah. Like yeah, best believe y'all gonna get the best of the best out here. So yeah. Um I will buy some easy on the shipping and handle. Yeah, I got you on the handling. Like I said, I'm gonna be giving out deals. Like if you buy like two or three things, you get other free stuff. Like say if you get like if you buy two shirts, you might get a cup or a shot or two shot glasses. You know? So it's I'm gonna give you your money's worth, you know. So yeah, don't worry about that. Definitely like I said, it's gonna be a good thing out here. I just gotta figure out how can I put it on YouTube, and like how can I like I don't want to make my own website just to sell shirts and glass cups and stuff. I just want to make some shirts, some glass cups, and probably some mugs, like some shot glasses and a glass cup. The glass cup might be like 15, maybe 16, 15, $18. The shirts might be 28, 25 to $30 depending. We got to see how it is first. It's like if you buy two shirts, you get a shot glass that's like what, $18. So you get like $70 worth stuff for like what, 55 dollars. So yeah, we're gonna get busy out here, man. And I'm gonna put the stuff right here. All the stuff is gonna be right here. So I like I said, we're gonna get busy out here. We're gonna get this work done. We're gonna get this money. This FBA people getting money. We're gonna get money out here. And I just hope. Thank you for the follow. Oh, thanks. Who's it? Small Poppy. Thanks for the follow on Kick. They have websites that can do all of that. Oh no, I'm gonna be doing that all of that myself, Robin. I got you. Like I said, all of this stuff is handmade. I'm not all that other stuff that goes through companies and stuff like that. No, you don't need to do none of that. I'm gonna do that all myself. I'm gonna do the hands work of it. I'm gonna do the hands work of everything. So yeah. I just gotta figure out how can I get the information. How can I get the information and how can I get people like I don't want to have to make a website so people can put down their shipping address and stuff. I want stuff already done where like okay, I make the shirt, this is where it's going. The money's already sent, you know? I just wanted to do it on that type of shit. You know, you fat ass hell, motherfucker, die black. Oh, I guess that's supposed to say nigga. Shout out to Small Poppy. Small Poppy, I'm 215. I'm 215 5'11" player. I don't know what you mean, fat, whatever. It's all right. You control. It's just you got hate in your heart, man. It's all right. You got hate in your heart. I don't need no hate in the heart because I know I'm dope. Why would you follow just to send the evil hate message? Robin, that's just how people are, man. They. This is why we're talking about a lot of stuff. What we're talking about this week, Robin. Ellis Island. We're talking about should white Americans support reparations. We're talking about stuff like that, and we're going to talk about a lot of stuff on ethical point of views. You know, just being ethical about it. You know, but actually, let's jump into the show. Everybody, don't forget to like and subscribe and comment in the live chat. Um, don't forget to share to 5 people and or share to 5 platforms. Also, if you don't know 5 platforms or 5 people, you could do 3 people, 3 people, 2 platforms, two platforms, 3 people. You could just mix it up, just let it be 5 because 5 is my favorite number. Also, don't forget to hit that like button. I'm about to put that joint up on for the caption, so y'all will be seeing. Don't forget to hit the like button. Um, and don't forget to subscribe, man. Subscribe. I think that is very important. But we getting busy right now. Shout out to Kick. Shout out to Rumble. Shout out to Twitter. Shout out to YouTube for definitely having this show. Actually, I'm gonna take a 30-second break real fast. I gotta run to the bathroom and we can start getting busy. So give me 30 seconds. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back, everybody. We're gonna start the show right now. We're gonna have a little quick show. We're gonna break down a few things. Give me a second. We're gonna break down a few things and definitely and I'm gonna give you a point of view of actually what's really going on with this. So yeah, definitely this is gonna be good. Actually, I don't want to start. I don't want to stop the show with that. I want to do that probably in the third one. I want you to hear a point of view from an African talking to a Black American. I think hearing conversations out and why people believe what they believe um, is the best thing, even if it's not true. So let's watch.
was going to talk for myself, but sadly I think it's a number. And somewhere in the process, we
There is this long-standing narrative that Africans do not like Black Americans.
Mhm.
What do you think of that?
Oh, that's a big one. So I wouldn't say so much that it's that Africans don't like black people. I really believe that there is a misunderstanding between these two sides of a black family.
Mhm.
I call the African immigrant, which I am. You're an African American, but it's two different sides of a black family. Us, traditionally, we stayed in the motherland. You have been taken away from the motherland to here. And somewhere in the process, we lost touch of who we are from one
Mhm.
another. So I remember when
I'm gonna stop that right there. I think when people say stuff like that, I don't want to say it's divisive, but it's very unethical to say. The reason why I say it's unethical, first of all, it's not true. Black Americans have loved Africans. Black Americans have supported Africans, but Africans had this point of view in their mind, and it's not about family this, family that. A lot of us Black Americans started supporting, like really supporting Africa, like in the '60s. You know, a lot of us pushed back. Even Frederick Douglass pushed back against Africans. You know, there's a reason why a lot of Black Americans didn't leave America to go to Liberia. You know, talk about that state land. Why would you? This is the thing. I get what she's trying to do. You know, yeah. It's a lie. They always say we don't know. Yeah, they say that we forget who we are. You know, this is who we always been. We always supported Africa. How did we forget who we are? We always supported you. So shout out to Mahalia. It's true. You're right about that. And fresh always, you are right. It's a lie. You know, they always say that we forget who. Yeah, you are right. They always say we forget who we are. But at the end of the day, we always showed you who we are. When we were supporting Africa, did we forget who we were? Wasn't we eating African food? Wasn't we doing these little African dances that we thought were really African? These little tribal dances that we were mimicking from Africa? I'm going to say this. When we were mimicking Africa, when we were doing all this African stuff, I think that's when we forgot who we really were. Like let's really think about it. We always supported Africa. We always had the kufis. We always had the African medallions. We always talked about going to Africa. We could even watching Belly. Belly had what's his name? Nas had this epiphany, and said like, you know what? We should move to Africa. Let's go to Africa. We these white folks don't like us here. Not knowing in Africa, a lot of those Africans don't like us because they're tribalistic. They don't even like other Africans because they're tribalistic. And like I said, everybody has their their bad parts about their ethnicity or their culture. But we're talking about Africans right now. The thing about African culture is they're tribalistic. They won't help you. We're in a better, and I'm gonna say this. Frank, what's his name? The Benin guy. He was right. He said we're in a better position in America than in Africa because we work together. Why would you want to lose that? Why would you want to lose us working together? There's a reason why we work together. There's a reason why we were making monies in the 50s, in the 40s, and the 30s because we worked together. Was it a family? Was it what is it? Um, a strong family background? Sometimes it wasn't. It was a community thing. It was Black Americans working together. When did have we ever always felt? When did we always just started blaming the parents? Instead of like black Americans, you see your neighbor kids acting a fool out there. When was it? When was it out of nature not to go tell his parent like, "Yo, you need to watch your kid. Your kid is out here acting a fool." That was us working together. When the police came, oh, we don't need you over here. We got this. We were policing the police. We didn't need them. We did not need them. But the thing about it is, they brought other people from different cultures over to our communities. That's when these communities started being broken. This is when it became the survival of the fittest. This is when it became the survival of the fittest. This is when the community started breaking down. It wasn't because, oh yeah, niggas had bad families at the homes. No, absolutely not. Did we have some wild childs in our community? Yes. But they were respectable and they knew certain things we had to do. What's going on, Dorsey? We knew certain things in our community where those kids was acting crazy. The elders, yo, you can't be out here doing that. I'm sorry, sir. These kids were out here. Shut the fuck up. This is why I pistol whip these niggas. Let me tell you something. One of the fans I hate. One of the artist fans that I really hate is the NBA Young Boys, because they'll crash out for NBA Young Boy. Them niggas tried that on me. They got a rude awakening. They got a rude awakening. They found out I was a gun owner that day. So they found out I was a gun owner that day. So that loyalty for NBA YoungBoy went out the window. Because they would have got popped or they would have got pistol whipped. One or the other. They could have picked their poison. It was it. We had low lives in our neighborhood. Yeah, we up. It's just our low lives were respectable. They knew how to talk to us. They knew how to talk to the elders. When the elders say something, it was law. Even if it was law to a certain extent when it came to like, yeah, protecting the community. All that extra shit, that's on them. It has never been what it is now because it, like I said, people from other cultures came over to our culture and it was a survival of the fittest after. It was survival of the fittest. Yeah. Then drugs came. Then after that, was it drugs? Drugs hit. Drugs hit the 60s hard. Niggas was fighting for territory. Like the elders still had a grip on it, but it wasn't a strong grip like it used to be. It's just like I said. What took the what took the we had a single parents with four daughters and one boy. The boy tried to rob the corner store that he had been going there for years. Yeah. And it was probably the 80s, Dorsey. Like I said, the 80s is different because drugs was involved. Don't forget, you had people from other backgrounds, like in LA, you got a lot of Belize people. A lot of Belize people don't have the same culture as Black Americans. They probably live in the culture, but just having the experience of that, no. They can't experience what a Black American technically really go through. Only thing they could probably experience is the color. Close to being a color. But the experience, nah. Nope, it was the 74s. Yeah, it's close. Um, oh yeah, the 70s was kind of hard too. But yet also too the 70s, I believe this is my ADHD kicking in. Sorry everybody. I believe in the 70s also. I think this is when we started seeing a decline. As I said, like in the 60s, And I don't want to blame all immigrants for it. It's just we adopted a lot of their culture too. You know, we adopted a lot of immigrant cultures, like not working together, you know, watch having to watch our back with our own people, being kind to other people. And I'm gonna say this: a lot of us has to stop being forgiving type of people. Sometimes we can't. Let me tell you something. Cause the motherfuckers the same skin color. Thanks, Ray Ray, for the coin. Shout out to you. Cause a lot of people, who was his name? The cop went straight to his house and he turned himself in. Heroin was big in the 70s. Yeah, see, drugs. I'm gonna say this too. I believe, I believe that, and I could be wrong. I believe that in the 70s, 80s, like we were impacted by crime and the crack epidemic. In 70s had the heroin, but also we have to really understand that, you know, a lot of this stuff was we had other cultures coming collectively, not just little individuals, collectively have them coming in our communities with their culture. A lot of them wasn't really fucking with us like that. So the real question is that the reason why it was a divide in our black community in at those times? Was it? Like, yeah, drugs was a part of it. Yeah, certain broken homes, but like I said, um with black Americans, that a motherfucker ain't gonna let you starve. They'll put a community function together just so you can eat, nigga. And I was born in the 80s and I still seen that shit. They made functions in my projects, even though niggas was shooting. They put their money together so a family who lost their job, lost their home, can have can pay their rent to eat. You know, can survive for a few months. So he did 4 months in June and it got worse. A year later, he snatched a black lady's purse and she bust on his ass. He died on the sidewalk. Yeah, hey, that what comes with the game. Nigga snatches little old lady's purses and the black lady shot him. Yeah, that's what comes with the game. Yeah. He wanted to be a YN. That's what he was a coolie high nigga. Yeah. Can't be out here snatching niggas' purses and shit like that. Them petty crimes get you locked. Yo, them petty crimes get you killed out here. He died on the corner. Yeah, you deserved it. Yo, he earned them bullets. But let's get back into what she said. I apologize, everybody.
When I arrived here, my tendency was to not trust African Americans. It really
Yo.
was, because we get trained back home. I'm just going to talk for myself, but sadly, I think it's a lot the same for many Africans. It's very sad.
She said it herself. When she got here, what did she say? When she got to this country, watch.
You have been taken away from a motherland to here. And somewhere in the process, we lost touch of who we are from one another. So I remember when I arrived here, my tendency was to not trust African Americans. It really was, because we get trained back home. I'm just going to talk for myself, but sadly, I think it's a lot the same for many Africans. It's very sad because they're like, oh, these African Americans, they have no culture. And I think what it is because the biggest thing that outside world and other Africans can see of African Americans, we call it this way, but the urban black ghetto culture, that's what
we call it
see.
ghetto here.
That's
Hood rattery.
I mean, that's what we see. But the problem, I think where we went wrong is that not understanding it's not representative of the rest of the black American culture. And so when you see the behavior of a minority being presented to you as if it is the behavior of a majority, then you tend to think that this is what the majority is. And so a big bad stereotype was created there. And definitely for me it was as well. So our parents are like, be careful of these people. They're violent, they're scary, they don't like to study, and all of that. That's pretty much what we're told about African Americans. So it took for me to come to this country and to be dealing with everyday African Americans to be like, wait, what? And then even myself start to see for myself, oh, okay, there is this definitely this urban black ghetto culture that they're talking about, but there is also all of these other African Americans, millions and millions of them, leading and running amazing lives, raising families, building businesses, being great professionals. I mean, I didn't expect that. And so for me, that's what it took to change my mind. So I think especially the music industry is what has caused a lot of problem, as well as Hollywood also has caused a lot of problems in terms of sending the stereotypes to the outside world. And then conversely, I think Hollywood and just the media in general has done a very good job also of depicting the other side of a black family to you guys. I mean, when I first came to this country, I had some African Americans who were asking me if I had pet lions, and also how did I get to this country? You know, because they think we don't even get on planes or anything like that. This was the first time, you know, I was asked some of these questions or people making some of these remarks, and also them thinking that same thing. They're thinking that we're these extremely poor people. It's one thing to be poor, but them also thinking with is ignorant people who don't have access to education or anything like that. We eat weird things and all of that. So we've basically been told the same.
But they do eat weird things. We're not gonna sit here and act like y'all niggas don't eat weird. I seen y'all niggas. I seen an African. Anybody ever seen? Anybody ever seen Lion King with that big ass worm? I have seen an African eat that shit with fufu. I swear to God, I'm not lying. I have seen an African eat that gooey fufu shit with that big ass worm still moving. When the nigga was singing Hakuna Matata, I seen the nigga eat that worm. And the nigga, when he seen that worm, he kissed his wife. Cause he was so excited to eat that Hakuna Matata worm, nigga. I have seen that shit. And I'm not just doing that to be rude and disrespectful. I'm telling you the truth. This is what nigga, this is what people was eating, nigga.
Thing about each other by the same people. And so when I discovered that, it was a big awakening for me. And that's when I started myself going towards more African Americans, and also actually also started going towards more people who were supposedly part of a community that is called the Black Urban Ghetto Culture. And then trying to really understand what's going on over there. And I've had some amazing friends who come from that side of the community. So to answer your question, I was raised to not like and to not trust and to not value African Americans. But the reality of just being here, being with African Americans, made me realize this is all a lie. Talking about lies, when you make it that how a minority behaves is the way the majority behaves, you might be right about how that minority behaves. It's true. But if you want to make it the truth about the whole thing, you lied. And so that's what I discovered. And I'm not proud to say it, but I have to be honest. When you ask me the question, I used to be, I think, a bigot towards African Americans, and wanting nothing to do with them, because I was fearful for my own life when it came to them. Just come to understand, as all groups, you have a subset who doesn't do good things and doesn't behave a certain way, but that shouldn't be an indictment on the rest of the.
That's what I've been telling people. I'm gonna say this. This is a year old. This video is a year old, but I have been saying this for a very long time. And people always say, "Oh, what about this culture right here, nigga? What is you talking about?" Most black people don't do that. This is why I always tell people, you're only talking about the 10% of black Americans. You're only talking about 10% of black Americans. There's a reason why you're only talking about 10% of black Americans. Let's watch this one. Shout out to the Daily Rap crew. Um, they always answers the hard questions, so
A
yeah.
controversial talking point. I wanna switch topics, but because this is a very controversial um talking point on the internet, right? I go on
Mm-hmm.
TikTok. and I see a lot of UK people speaking about block Americans, right?
Mm,
So
mm.
what a lot of people, the UK, Africans, Caribbeans, a lot of their talking points is Black Americans or FBAs don't have culture. What do you say to those people who say that?
That's a projection. That's a projection because we are the culture here.
Mm-hmm.
Our lineage goes back to this country longer than the lineage to their country because their countries are relatively new, especially over there in West Africa. Many of, or not just West Africa, all of Africa, many of those countries were basically created in the 1800s at the Berlin Conference. So they don't have a deep, rich culture. That's why a lot of them have to leave because of a lot of tribalism. They're not as deeply rooted as they're supposed to be. So they do a lot of projecting onto us. Our culture is so deeply rooted here. Everything about American culture that is good comes from foundational Black Americans.
True.
The food, the dance, the slang, the sports, the
How we
entertainment.
dress, yeah.
They try to say you can't use those examples nowadays.
Why can't we? Well, foundational Black Americans created the modern doorknob. We created the modern toilet. We
Tell you
created
that you-
modern dry cleaning. So many things that we created. We created the modern home security system. I mean, we've had 50,000 patents. We can claim all of this stuff. All of the music genres was created by foundational Black Americans. We are the culture. And they know this because if you go to their countries, they're acting like us. We're not acting like them. They got on baseball hats and Nike shoes and stuff that we're wearing.
That's a fact.
And
90-degree weather.
Right. They ain't wearing kente cloth sweatpants. They're wearing Nikes and Adidas like we're wearing.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
So even when you went to say about how the countries in West Africa, like I've seen an old map of Africa before they had the invisible lines with the borders with the countries, and like you said, those countries didn't exist until like the time frame you said. So when I hear this this conversation, and I think you've seen one of our clips. It was a Haitian woman, and she was like,
I definitely remember that.
she was sitting on the couch and she was just like, "Oh, I can't date a Black American because Black Americans don't have any cultures," and that one just went crazy online because it just. While she's dressed like an American Black woman, she's sitting there talking about Black Americans don't have, like, you know what I mean? So that is always a kind of divisive talking point in the diaspora.
And they can never tell us what their culture is because when people call up to our lives and start talking about culture, I ask, what is your culture? They can never give an answer. You understand? We can give answers to what our culture is, all of the music and the foods. We can give that, but they can't really give an answer to what their culture is.
So,
and that's no disrespect to our brothers and sisters in the diaspora. We got love for you, but those who come over and try to denigrate us and project this weird thing, we will check them.
Why is it so easy for everyone to attack, the culture of Black Americans?
The thing is, this is the game they play. With us, we are so inclusive. We share our culture with everybody. We're too damn nice.
Too damn nice.
That's been the problem because whenever we do something, we say, okay, we chop it up to just global Africanness. We've been on that. So if we do something positive, we'll say, hey, our African brothers, we got it, probably from some tribe or whatever. We'll share it with everybody. For a long time, we were sharing hip hop with the Caribbeans because they were like, well, Caribbeans help do it. And we're like, not really, but we'll share. We're all Black. We had that type of thing. And that was a mistake. Because what happens is a lot of these people who didn't create anything, we give them something, then they take it for granted and then say, hey, you know what? I did it and y'all didn't do shit and y'all ain't got no culture and we do. And we're saying, hey, we ain't playing that game no more.
Now let's talk about the unity.
Right.
What is the youngest country in the world today?
It's true, man. I agree. I agree. I'll say this. I don't know where these Africans got that mindset from. Did they get it from the movies and stuff like that? But let me ask you the question. Who controls the Africans move? Who control Africa? Oh, shout out to Dorsey. Thank you for the 100. Thank you for the coins, man. I appreciate it. Give me a second. Yeah, thank you for the coins. I gotta figure out what to do with these coins. But yeah, like everybody hates Tariq Nasheed. This is the thing. A lot of y'all Africans hate Tariq Nasheed, but Tariq Nasheed does so much for y'all. That's the crazy thing. Tariq Nasheed does more shit for y'all than y'all politicians do for yourselves. I'm gonna skip that one and I'm gonna go to a little controversial one. This is the one. Hold on. This is the one where we say this is why, and this is why I say Africans don't fuck with Black Americans. They don't accept us. They will never accept us. And we're gonna hear from Africans.
Today, we will hear from an angry African man ignorantly talking very disrespectful about foundational Black Americans. Also, foundational Black Americans discussing how delineation is working and very much needed, and how important it is to continue to stay on code. Check it out.
Where is the money? Where is the money? If you're the wealthiest group of Black people on the planet, where is the money? Why you ain't built up Tulsa back? Where is the money? You're the wealthiest group of Black people on the planet and you're still on food stamps. Where is the money? The wealthiest group.
And this is why I tell y'all this. Yes, he's an individual, but collectively, a lot of these people have this mindset. And this, don't forget, the reason why I played that first video is because you know what? This is what they're telling. A lot of, we gotta say, this is what they learn before they come into this country. This is what they learn when they come into this country. When the FBA told Africans about grants and nonprofits, yeah, we fucked up. We showed our hands. No sense goes here to Americans indoctrinated. Yep, I agree with you, Dorsey, on both of those ones you said. But to get back into what I was saying, this is when I explained to people, I was like, yo, this is what they offer. They don't offer us anything. A lot of these immigrants don't really offer us anything. Like I said, I love immigrants. I think immigrants, some of them are good here, but a lot of them don't. What good is 1.7 trillion spending power if you can't make it past a stoplight? And this is where I said, I'm gonna say this. This is why I don't trust Africans fully. And it's because you know what? They don't police their own people. You got this man talking crazy about Black Americans, and you expect Black Americans to defend you on your social issues or not to delineate. Black Americans want to delineate from you because of this. They want to delineate. They want to delineate you because of this. And this guy's gonna show his hand because of the anger that he has against the delineation. Watch, let's listen.
Group of Black people on the planet, my Black ass. Where is the money? Where is the money? You're out here begging for reparations from white people. Where is the money? Your kids are still going through the school to prison pipeline. Where is the money? Black women cannot make it out of the hospitals when they give birth because they keep getting unalived. Where is the money? You're the wealthiest Black. You must be thinking about imaginary money. You ain't got shit. You ain't got shit. Where's the money? We saw a lot of you crying about food stamps a few weeks ago. Where is the money? Where is the money?
And that was AI that he's talking about. That was an AI picture. That wasn't no nigga. That wasn't a real Black American complaining about that. That was AI. And this is the shit that. This is why I always tell people I push back on Pan-Africanism, because Pan-Africanism gives a green light for people to diss Black Americans and disrespect Black Americans. We're not safe. I'm gonna say this: Black Americans are not safe under Pan-Africanism, and we'll talk. We're gonna have. That's gonna be a topic. That's gonna be a. We'll talk about that Monday. Is Black Americans safe under Pan-Africanism next Monday? Because we already got this whole week set. Maybe we might even talk about it on Saturday, because I might be bringing my kids to Dorchester to give to my daddy for a little bit.
Money. You ain't built nothing. 500 years, you've not built nothing. Do you know how much of a disgrace it is for Africans to come here, knowing you've been here for 500 years and you still ain't built shit? When the Mexicans come over, their people build something for them, they have a system. Chinese come over, they have a system. Irish come over, they have a system. We come over, we have jail systems. You just send us to jail because we look like you. All you've reserved for your people in America is the jail system. That is all. That is the only power you hold. The right to remain silent. That's the only thing you have. Miranda rights. You are the.
No, only the reason why y'all Africans go to jail is because y'all scam. It's not black Americans. You get caught scamming. You can't do that in America.
Richest population of black people. Where is the money? Where is the money? How come you don't finance your own people into office? You're crying about Somalis. How about you put that money behind a candidate that has your views in mind? Why don't you do that? Because you ain't got shit. You ain't got shit. You keep crying about what the white people did to you. How about you build something with the money? Where's the money? $1.7 trillion? Poof. Where is it? Where is the money? Y'all are broke. Black Americans are broke. You are broke. Go look at the list of billionaires you have and tell me how many African last names you see there. That's what you don't get. You're broke. Look at what the richest black man on the planet, a Nigerian, is doing. He's out there building refineries, creating jobs for his people, providing jobs security for his people, opening schools, businesses. You're out here pooking and ray-raying. Where is the money? You guys are upset. You're broke. The whole world sees you're broke. See, when we were in Africa, right, we may have thought you had something on us. Then we came over here and realized you ain't nothing but Section 8 crybabies. Where is the money? Where is the money? A bunch of coons talking about money you've never had. Money you've never had. Spending power you can never use to benefit your community. Where is the money? Where is the money when the government had to save your women from the men? Created a whole gap. Made them kick you out the house. Where is the money? Where is the money when kids were starving in America a few weeks ago when SNAP benefits got taken away? Where is the money? Why are you out here begging the government for shit you can build for yourselves? Where is the money? Where is the money? A bunch of lazy, broke people talking about you got money and shit.
Black Americans are waking up to who we really are inside of this country, and I absolutely love it. But one thing with our awakening is that we've been.
This is why I always tell people all the time, Africans are not our friends. A lot of them are not our friends. You know, like I said, policing your people is the reason why I tell people, yo, you got to police your people, because at the end of the day, when shit like this happens, it looks bad on everybody. When you don't say anything, when you don't denounce this shit. Why? Let me ask you a question. Why you think right now Asian communities and Asian business owners is waving the white flag with Black Americans, also known as foundational Black Americans? Because don't forget, Black Americans and FBA always supported Asians. You know what? But right now we're just giving them the same energy that they're giving us. Really? That guy who did that bullshit and said like, "Oh yeah, that kid deserved to die." The community didn't say shit. You know, well, let me not say that. I apologize with that. Some of them said something, like one or two people said something, but at the end of the day, it has to be a collective thing. When a Black American does some shit or say some shit, Black Americans come down on them niggas hard. Black Americans come down on our Black Americans come down. Pause. Black Americans bring the brimstone to their own people. There's a reason why we do that, because you're not gonna make us look crazy. They believe the white man when they say bad things about black. Yeah, it's true, Rando. But this is the thing, Rando. If they know that's a lie, they need to police they need to police the people and denounce it immediately. This is why a lot of these Asian community business owners that live in that serves in the Black community are not making as much money as they're making anymore. Because you know what? Black Americans is giving them that same smoke that they giving them. This is what's happening, and a lot of these folks is feeling that pain. The Indians are feeling that pain because you know what? Black Americans exposed them for lying to get citizenship. These Indians been running around here making these fake robberies and saying a black man did it. They've been saying a black man been robbing them and they got caught scamming. Some of that shit happened in Massachusetts, where I lived at. One happened in I want to say Waltham. Another one happened in Haverhill, I believe, and they said a black man robbed them. Either y'all, yeah. Now, but the thing about it, a lot of these Africans can't face defeat. They feel like, you know what, they're superior over Black Americans. So this is why they're having a hard time facing fact, and they have to lie. If you notice, they just been lying and lying and lying. Why do they gotta lie about history? Why do we gotta lie about history? Why would Black Americans would ever want to come back to a country? Let's play the game. Let's say niggas is from Africa. Why would a Black American want to go back to Africa after you sold them niggas? You gotta have some type of mental issue to go back to the same place that sold your ancestors and call it your home. You gotta be batshit crazy just to do some shit like that. I would not. This is why I always tell people I would never want to go to Africa. Really, I have no reason. And the thing is, I have no reason to go to Africa. What am I going to Africa for? For what? What's going on, St. Michael's the meth head? How you doing, man? FBAs are between 13%, 32%. Some of us is St. Michael. Some of us is. How many times I have been telling you? I said some of us is St. Michael the meth head. I've been told you that some of us is. How white are you? How white are? I'm not white at all. I have an admixture. St. Michael's, I'm a whole new race. I'm a whole new ethnicity. Black Americans is a whole new ethnicity. Like you in St. Michael's, you're in the Ellis Island, baby. You're in Ellis Island, baby, and we know you're a Neanderthal, but you have other genetics as well, as we found out that you don't like to talk about. You know, but I can accept that. You know what? I might have a little bit of white genetics in my ethnicity, in my genetics. I'm sorry, my genetics. But that's what makes us a whole different race, because you know what? We're an admixture. Not race, ethnicity. We're a whole mixed ethnicity. I wouldn't say race, because Black Americans is we're still African genetically, but the ghost genes is monkey. St. Michael's, can we not do that again? Can we please not talk about that? We already had a show on that. I even deleted the show for you because you spazzed out. You spazzed out when you found out what your genetics was. So St. Michael's the meth head. Can we please not do that again? Let's go on right here, and I'll be right back. I'll be still listening though.
Ruffling a lot of feathers in the so-called diaspora. And it's exposing how many of these different groups really feel about Black Americans. It's crazy. You can be from Nigeria, live inside of the United States, but be proud Nigerian. You can be from Ghana or other parts of Africa and be proud of your country. You can be from Haiti or Jamaican and still be proud of those things, even though you live here. But once we flex on how we're proud to be an American, it's all of a sudden an issue. Now that we've been uncovering all of these different benefits that were specifically made for Black Americans, that many of your groups have been eating off of for years in the name of all of us being Black, Now it's an issue. Now you guys started wanting to be black once Trump started bringing up that 14th Amendment. Now everybody black once ICE is out there in them streets. I love that we're separating ourselves. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the news, but every time a crime happens and that skin is dark, they have been naming countries now. Well, nationalities and ethnicities. Previous to that, or a year ago, even 2 years ago, they would just say that person is black. And those crime numbers are now attributed to just being black, but now they're separating it. And we're starting to see the levels of crime or the statistics on crime drop amongst black Americans.
We see you. If I hear one more immigrant, one more tether, one more stupid Pan-African tell me that it's a conspiracy that we are delineating and we're falling for it. So, let me ask you, where was the conspiracy theories when we were being quiet? When you were coming over here talking about we called you booty scratcher when you were in high school or elementary, because we all children now, right? And us calling you names, nah, equates to you growing up and trying to undermine the people who look like you, who fought for you to be able to come here and be just a little bit free, because you're way more free than in your own land, no matter how much y'all complain. And you know it, or you won't still be running here. So where was the conspiracy theory then? You really think that FBA don't know that all of a sudden that they pushing out all of this information, allowing so much information to come out so we can see it? You think we don't know? We just on you now because we realize what? That we alone are going to have to fight this. That y'all are too weak. Too weak in mind and too weak in spirit. You see, here's the thing with us. We know that they trying to push a divide. But we also know that we were never together. And we could never be together with you and your tribalism mindset. We know that. Okay? So what we're going to do, we're allowing, you see when you want the truth to come out, you stand back and you let friends fight it out. They're going to tell all the secrets. So that's what we're doing. We're sitting back and we're gathering information. Because that's what we do. We learned that we need to gather information documents while y'all fighting and letting it out. And then we're going to hold on to it and we're going to use it. And we're going to expose it. And we're going to build it. We're going to build on it. And we're going to keep this royal house. See, that's why you were jealous before. To try to sell out the royal bloodline from long, long before your ancestors and you that was here before. But you see how it backfired on you? To now you knocking down the door to come in to where you sent us at. Because without us, what? The land is still in poverty. You're still undereducated in so many ways. You think because you come over here and you get the European education and their doctrines and their bachelors, you're just as stupid as they are. And you see, FBA, we need to get up. All of y'all on them drugs, hanging out on them corners, you need to get up. Because you see it now, right? So we need to get in.
So I'll give a little pushback. That's only 10% there. Again, Black Americans doesn't make that many criminals like that. It is like 10% it's 10% out of 50 million Black Americans. That's not a lot. That's not a lot, Do people have their little hustle? Yeah. Everybody got their little hustle. But like I said, there's give me a second. Something just happened, everybody. That's why. Give me a second. Hmm. Okay, it went through. Yeah, let's. There's only 10% of Black Americans that are like technically gang members. Less than that. Less than 10%. I will say that. Um, but she does make a good point. That little percentage. Hopefully, we could, still try to fix. There's always improvement for something. Bronze, they be everywhere on e-bikes. Yeah. In Boston, there's always some type of like immigrant that's on them e-bikes. It's crazy. With a ski mask on, and nigga, last week it was in the 90s. You see niggas with hoodies and a ski mask. I was like, these niggas is about to pass out. They're about to pass out in these ski masks in 90-degree weather going like 20, 30 miles per hour. They're crazy.
In and do what we're supposed to do and need to do. So whenever we come back or our children are here, that it's a better thing for us still. And keep growing and stay on code. Conspiracy theory. Where was the conspiracy theory when you felt like you were sitting at the seat with them? When you felt like you were at the table with them, huh? Where was all the conspiracy talking and the division talking then, Caribbean and African? Use this fire to purify your mind, your mindset. Stop being stupid. That's why you don't like FBA. Because we're going to talk to you like this. And y'all don't like real. You like to be fake. Okay. No. It's okay. No, man, brethren. No, man. We are one people. We are one. But meanwhile, behind we blood clot back. You're sabotaging. Jealousy. That's what has always took us down. That is the conspiracy that YT used. Jealousy. So don't worry about the conspiracy that we riding on. We know the wavelength we riding on. Now you use your conspiracy the right way. Because we're going to use ours. Because we see you niggas. We see you.
Anybody that's ever expressed disdain for foundational Black Americans, what I notice is that their dislike of us or their criticisms of us is always extremely infantile. It's always very juvenile. It's like a childlike reasoning for not liking another person. It never has any real substance. It's always something like, oh, well, when I was in the 3rd grade, somebody called me an African booty scratcher. It's like, dude, you're 47. Who didn't get made fun of when they were in the 3rd grade? Who didn't get roasted? Who didn't get joked on? That's what kids do. They're mean. They're not nice. You're a grown-ass man. You're a grown-ass woman, and you still harping on to something that happened back when you was a child. And as far as I have heard or seen, a lot of these people came over here with terrible stereotypes of Black Americans. So it ain't like you came over here with these innocent thought processes of us. It ain't like you came over here thinking highly of us. You came over here thinking that you was better than us. You came over here telling us that we was lazy, that we didn't have no culture, that we didn't have no language, that we need to want to be you, that we should not have any pride about ourselves. Like we need to just try to be Africans. That's the whole sentiment that y'all come at us with. And it's just extremely juvenile. It's never anything like, oh, well, this FBA person, Black American person, stop me from getting a job, or they stop me from getting my education, or they stop me from getting a scholarship, or they stop me. They're stopping me from living a life. They're terrorizing me. I can't live normally. Nobody's doing anything to you. I'm sure it's hard to be an immigrant. I'm sure it's hard to come to a new country. I'm sure it's hard to try to fit in where you really don't. But ain't nobody stopping you from doing anything.
Okay, you guys are like, why are these people so upset while we're delineating? And I think it's really because we really don't understand how much information, resources, and money we're giving away to other communities. Because I think that's the only way that we can't understand why they're freaking out about our delineation. Let's start with the small hats. Do you know how many billions of dollars we make? Ethnic Black Americans spend almost $2 trillion a year. $2 trillion a year. And we see very little of that. We are funding people in the amounts, different cultures and communities, the amount of almost $2 trillion. 2 motherfucking trillion. And then y'all are like, well, why are they so upset we're delineating? $2 trillion. We're almost at $2 trillion of spending, and that's just spending. Of course, people are freaking out because everybody eats off of us. We are supporting different groups in this country with $2 trillion. That is more than most countries' economy. With $2 trillion, we could go and start a whole nother country in another land or in America if we fought and we won, and have a thriving economy. So let's get into it. The small hats make billions off of us through music, through sports, through entertainment. You know how many sports agents are small hats that we give all our money to? Do you know how many small hats that use our music, murder music? And if you don't believe me, go listen to 90s music and listen to our music now. That take our music and capitalize off of that. Let's talk about sports. I think I talked about sports. I said sports, music, film, TV, all these things. Yep. All these things. They make so much money off of us, okay? Let's move on to the Arabs and the Asians who put their businesses in our communities, from the bodegas to the gas stations. Some East Indians are included in that. Some East Indians. They put so much money. I mean, we give them so much money from these corner stores. It's ridiculous. The Asians from, of course, beauty supply stores and, like our nail salons or what have you. And yeah, I go to the Asian beauty supply stores. And don't say, Black women, because it's Asian men that run Asian beauty supply stores. So if Asian men run beauty supply stores, then Black men need to invest and start up beauty supply stores for Black women. And I guarantee you Black women would go. If you guys start making Black beauty salons and stuff like that, and they will run efficiently, Black women are coming, okay? After that, let's think. So the Arabs, the Asians I spoke about or whatever. The Hispanics. The Hispanics have definitely taken over everybody's jobs or what have you, which we didn't mind at first and we actually were the ones who told them all the information. We told them all the information. We told them how to get the job. We told them what to do. We told them where to go. We even hooked them.
And I always said that was a bad idea because you know what? In the 1930s, the Latinos didn't fuck with that. Lilac was enforcing this to Lilac, and I'm gonna be honest. Lilac was the ones that started the division with Latinos and Black people. They were the ones who told us straight to our face, the Negro problem is not our problem. What's going on, Ted the Dookie outside? Shout out to you, player. Yeah, the Lilac told them. Then after that, the Latino followed. Collectively they followed. Were there some that didn't follow? Yes. But collectively they followed Lilac. So we can't sit here and act like that didn't happen.
up with some of our people to get to use their licenses and their contractors certificates and stuff. Like, we helped all of them get on just for them to turn around and then shut us out. Hispanics come into our neighborhoods. We gave them moved over and shared our neighborhoods with them, our housing neighborhoods, and all that type of stuff. We told them how to get more information, and they pump us from information all day, every day, and y'all be falling for it because they be buttering us up. Like, hey, Poppy, yeah, I saw you. You know, I saw you the other day. What were you doing? And here you go. Yeah, I was, because they know exactly what you were doing. They just trying to get the information. Oh, I was working on a little job. Oh, they must pay you real good. I know they paying you real good. And here we go. Yeah, they pay me about such and such an hour, and just telling all the business. And then you wonder how all of a sudden Hector, it shows up out there. You don't know that Hector was talking to the dude you were talking to, and that's his brother or his cousin. And now you have them competing for the same job. And it would not be a problem. None of this would be an issue if it was reciprocated. But the money and the opportunities and the resources and the housing get stripped away. We get erased. If you think you don't have shit, if you think you ain't shit, then you don't know how much you're giving away because you don't value anything you have. Once they make you think that you're nothing and that there's everything you do is bad, everything you have is not good enough, or it's not shit, if they try to convince you don't have no kind of money, you're not good enough for that, you're not smart enough for that, you're not talented. The only way you're talented or you're recognized is if you give it to us. If you spend your money with us, if you give it to us, then now it's valuable. And I remember there was a time where ethnic Black Americans wanted to show somebody that they, who was trying to be racist, like, I'll show them by spending a whole bunch of money in their shops with your YC company to show, like, I can do this. And I get it, but we're evolving. We're evolving now. You got Arabs and Asians taking trillions out of your community. The ethnic Black American spends almost $2 trillion per year. $2 trillion per year. That's how much money is going out of our community because we don't keep much of that in our community. They tell you you're poor and they tell you don't have any money, and then because you are funding all these frigging groups. You're funding Arabs and Asians and Hispanics and the small hats, not to mention the YT. You're funding all these groups, the Africans, the Caribbeans. You are funding all of these groups. No wonder you don't have ish. You don't have ish because we're funding everybody else. We're funding everybody else's success story, and then
she's telling the truth. I think I'm gonna say this. Do I got any push-up? I'm gonna start with the good first. She's telling the truth. We're funding everybody, but we have to also have we have to have a plan as well. And I think she kind of gave us a plan instead of telling us this should be our plan. We should have a specific person that we should go to to trust. And the way how we figure that out is the people who support us. Lilacs, brother. Shout out to Tethers Dookie outside. I'm looking at up here because I got a TV up here on my wall. But yeah, Lilac, I believe, and this is just me, I believe we need to only buy to people who support us. Because you know why I say that? Because at least our money will make sense. And what I mean by our money will make sense, it'll make sense to spend it with them because it'll stay in our community. So that I think that would be perfect to do, but that's just my point of view. You might have a different point of view, and that's okay, and that's fine. Definitely put it in the live chat if you have a point of view that Black Americans should be doing as myself.
Turn around from long before your ancestors and you that was
startup opportunities and the on PBS documentaries.
All right,
because you're giving all your money away.
For more than 400 years, foundational Black Americans, those whose ancestors built this nation from slavery through Reconstruction, Jim Crow, the Civil Rights Movement, and into the modern era, have carried a distinct and irreplaceable story. It is a story forged through forced labor, legal segregation, generational terror, political resistance, and cultural brilliance. And today, as America continues changing, the need for clear delineation, a respectful but firm distinction between foundational Black Americans and Black immigrants, has become more important than ever. Delineation is not about division. It is about accuracy, justice, and preservation. For too long, the unique lineage, struggle, and achievements of foundational Black Americans have been blended into a vague, catch-all Black category that erases the specific people who built the foundation upon which America stands. FBA delineation is a corrective, an act of self-definition. It ensures that our history, our lineage, and our political claims.
Well, I'm gonna say this, everybody. We see why they're disrespecting us. You see why they're mad. And the thing, I'm gonna be honest, they don't have control over our neighborhoods no more. Our neighborhoods is off limit when it comes to them. They can't do the same thing that they were doing like 5-10 years ago. You know, we're gonna watch another video from Mahogany's Culture and Travels, where they talk, where we hear this lady talks about keeping the same energy that I was talking about. I was saying the same thing months ago. Yeah, let's keep. And this lady said this a year ago.
Take a listen.
Black people, we need to start giving these folks their energy back. The killing them with kindness, the doing right by people who are doing wrong by you, it hasn't worked. It's never worked. And not only has it not worked, but it's created a sense of entitlement in these fucking motherfuckers. These motherfuckers think that they're entitled to our free ass labor and our fucking bodies being put on the line. It's not in our nature. Culturally, Black people throughout the whole entire diaspora on the continent, culturally, we are taught to treat people right, full stop. Not treat people right because you think they can do something for you. Not treat people right because they're higher than you in the social hierarchy. Treat people right because that's just the way you're supposed to behave. And we keep approaching everybody else in the world like that, but they're not giving us that same energy back. The nicer we treat them, the worse and worse they treat us. They see our kindness and they take it for weakness. They take it for stupidity. They take it as something to be taken advantage of. We need to give them the same disdainful energy that they constantly give us. They're evil and racist and disrespectful and nasty as fuck to us. Give it right the fuck back. These folks only respect when you give them their same fucking energy back. They are not on a vibrational frequency to understand and to respect humanity, human basic kindness and respect. They don't have that.
Tethers Dookies outside in Randall, y'all were right. They didn't respect Black Americans, so yeah. Yeah, so yeah, it's time for them to go. So yeah, Black Americans can't defend them this time. And Robin, what you said in 98, yeah, you're right. 20, 30 years ago, 20, 30 years later, yeah, you were right. Black Americans like, fuck everybody, worry about ourselves.
Vibrational frequency inside of them. They've beaten that out of themselves for generations in an aspiration to be fucking white. This is why they're losing their minds now that we Black people have said we're going to mind our fucking business and stay out of their business and stay off the motherfucking streets. That's why they're losing their fucking minds, because they believe that they are entitled to our free labor. They believe that Black people were created to serve them. They believe we were created to serve them, so much so that they don't even have to give us an ounce of respect while demanding that servitude. Because it's just what it's supposed to be in their fucked up, racist, anti-Black, disgusting, dirty, rotten, cancer-infected fucking minds. Killing them with kindness doesn't work. Showing them godliness doesn't work. Showing them how to treat each other like decent human beings doesn't work. Give them their nasty fucking energy back.
I agree with this sister message. I love traveling and living around the world while learning about people from different cultures. At the same time, I never bought into the turn the other cheek mentality that the black silent, aka civil rights, and black baby boomer generations promoted to the younger generations. I always have a black first mindset. History has shown how these immigrants come over to America, bringing their anti-black mindset with them. It is way past time that freedmen black Americans understand the assignment, get on code, and stay united. From the moment slavery was abolished, freedmen black Americans, descendants of enslaved black people in the United States, have stood on the front lines in the fight against white supremacy. Despite being marginalized, terrorized, and systematically excluded from full citizenship, freedmen have continually resisted oppression while showing solidarity with other marginalized groups, including many immigrant communities. Yet time and again, these same communities have turned their backs on black Americans, co-opting civil rights gains, aligning with white power structures, or outright sabotaging black progress. After emancipation, black Americans built independent institutions, churches, schools, businesses, and mutual aid societies as a form of resistance. From Reconstruction, 1865 to 1877, to the Civil Rights Movement, they organized voter registration drives, founded newspapers, formed armed self-defense units like the Deacons for Defense, and filed countless lawsuits challenging segregation and discrimination. Despite being the most targeted group under white supremacy, black Americans became the moral backbone of American democracy. Figures like Ida B. Wells, Frederick Douglass, W.E.B. Du Bois, and later Malcolm X and Dr. King led global conversations on human rights. Black Americans have historically supported other marginalized and immigrant groups, often seeing their struggles as linked. In the early 20th century, black labor organizers welcomed poor European immigrants into union struggles against exploitative factory owners, even when those immigrants held racist views. During World War II, while Japanese Americans were placed in internment camps, the NAACP opposed their incarceration, advocating for their civil liberties. In the 1960s, the Chicano movement, Native American rights campaigns, and the Asian American movement all drew from the strategies and moral authority of the Black Civil Rights Movement. Black leaders marched with and advised organizers from these communities.
It's true, Tether Dookie outside. I'm gonna say that, and I'm gonna stop that because I think the lady said enough. I do believe it's a COINTELPRO. I do believe that there is a reason why a lot of these immigrants are over here to replace Black Americans. This is why they're getting a pushback because I'm gonna say this: it failed. The thing that they wanted to do to Black Americans failed. You know, and they didn't know Black Americans were that strong. They didn't think Black American was gonna what's the word? You know, give a pushback. They thought with Pan-Africanism or the Pan-African movement that it would be easy to infiltrate the Black American community with including the Black gatekeepers, also known as the Boulets. So that's what happened. This is why a lot of these Boulets don't have the power that they have anymore, and they're having problems with the white supremacists. This is why the Pan-Africanism and the liberals and the Democrats have to come together. You know, because they're starting to understand Black Americans are probably the most influential people in America. We are influential. They know that they're going to get pushed back if they do any type of fuckery. They're going to understand they're going to understand why it's not going to be safe for them if they do some fucked up or some stupid shit. You know, so thanks, Randall, for the coin, for the jewels. That's what it is. It's jewels. Thanks for the jewels, Randall and Dookie, Tether Dookie always. Tether Dookie outside. Bro, I was thinking about it the other day. They introduced drugs, then ran the gangster psyops in private schools to put prison pipelines. Yes, they did. You know, then flooded us. Yeah, I was just saying that. I was saying there's a reason why in the 60s, 70s that they were flooded immigrants in America. It was more of a replacement thing, or also you can say a replacement theory. You know, they were supposed to replace Black American. Like, let me give you an example. The dopest thing that I heard, and it came from Ron Simmons. Also, if you're a wrestling fan, you know him as Farouk. He was the first Black WCW champion, or you could and WWE champion because they emerged with each other. I mean, they merged with each other. They were saying that, oh yeah, I was. They said that you was the first African American champion, and Farouk was saying, "Excuse me." He said they said that you're the African American champion, and the guy was trying to say, "Oh yeah, we meant to say American champion." He's like, "No." He's like, "No. I'm the first Black American champion." He said, "Yo, my family, my ancestors fought for me to be Black for a very, very long time, for people to accept us that we were Black. They didn't fight for us to be African American. They fought for us to be Black American." And I think a lot of people need to understand a lot of this stuff happened in the 30s, the 40s, even the 20s and the early 1900s, and even in the late 1800s. A lot of Black Americans fought to be Black. They didn't fight to be African American. They fought to be Black. You know, and I understand that a lot of people don't like the word foundational Black Americans, but they fought for us to be the foundation of this country. You know, how a lot of these people feel, we don't care. We don't care how you feel because we're caring about what the truth is. And the truth is, a lot of our ancestors, a lot of our grandparents, our great grandparents, our great great grandparents, depending how old you are, they fought for us to be Black Americans. That's what they fought for us to be. All this other, and this is why I said, and I put I put the topic question, and there was an episode out that was Pan Africanism a white psyop? What was it, a white psyop? We did a deep dive into that. A lot of these Pan Africans didn't like that, but that was the truth. That was the history of Pan Africanism. It was created by a white man. No matter it says African on it, Pan Africans. It was created by a white man. The white man deserves that credit. Whatever happened in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, that's the white man's credit. Nah, Randall, it's deeper than that. Those SAT tests in like the third grade, it is how select their targets in the dark frame. Tell the Dookie outside. Have you ever watched the movie called Him? The reason why I'm asking you that, because you're going down that rabbit hole, and that's what that movie Him was about. The little kid was like, "Yeah, I'm him. I'm him. I'm him. You know, I'm gonna be the greatest of all time." Then when he got his chance, when he got into the NFL, he was going through all this crazy testing, and at the end of the movie, the elites was telling him that we've been watching you and we've been molding you since you was a little kid, since your father died. Your father sacrificed for you. Your father sacrificed everything so you could be where you are. No matter if it was dark or light. They wanted that kid to sign that contract. He said, "I'm not signing the contract." He took the blood oath, but he didn't sign the contract. Nah, I lived it. Yeah. Dookie, it's like, nah, Dookie, tell the Dookie outside said, "Nah, I lived it, bro." Yeah. Like, for example, I did modeling in New York for a little bit. They do. I'm not gonna say they be sacrificing people, but they do be putting people. They do be doing some freaky shit, and I'm talking about the executives. Niggas be doing scamming with the money and all this other stuff. One guy who got caught up in my era with the scamming with the money and had to do time in Florida was Lou Pearl. Lou Pearlman, I'm sorry. His story is very unique because everybody think he was a head honcho. He was just the bottom of the barrel. Yes. There were bigger elites than him. To where the things where he was doing, he was stealing money. He was doing all that money fraud and all that other stuff. He got caught with money trails, but there were people who were bigger than him doing way worse than he was. What he was doing, he was stealing nigga pennies compared to what those other white boys was doing in the modeling industry and in the entertainment industry. That's why if you ever notice, a lot of these models they emerged with the entertainment industry. And when I say emerge, they were the celebrities now. Like they were the movie they were the movie artists. I mean the movie they were the movie actors and the actors. They were the rappers. They were all of that. This is why you have cross training celebrities because it's easy. It's easy to just give one person money and you just keep the rest instead of giving 3 or 4 other people money for a job that one person can do. It's called cross training. They even do that at work now. They cross train people so they can only pay one person and not pay multiple people. You know? Nah, as a Tuki doesn't know me. I think he thinks I am not by white in the entertainment industry. You mean it was white? They're white. St. Michael's the meth head. They're white. That's still white. No matter how you put it, y'all was in cahoots with each other. You're just St. Michael's the meth head. You're just mad at them because they don't want to share with you no more. Those are real white people. Like, let's personally be honest, St. Michael's the meth head. Those are real white people. You're not a real white person because at the end of the day, you're bitching and moaning about what black people do. You don't control the industry no more. And it's the truth. You don't control the industry no more. I didn't mean anything negative towards you. Just explaining the process. Whites and thank you, Rando. Are you trying to say Esau? Are you trying to say Esau, St. Michael, the meth head? They're still white. You know, they still got the same genetics. They still got the same gene plan as you. It's probably very similar. You know, we the lowest of all hanging fruit. How are we the lowest of all hanging fruit, but we're the ones who bring in trillions of dollars of spending power? We bring in we St. Michael's, the meth head. You got to understand, Black Americans spending power. They make more money than what most countries have. You know, like that's how much money we bring in. Some people misunderstand me and take things. I say wrong because I'm a no, that ain't got nothing to do with you, Randall. It's all about facts. I don't know what your conversation's about, so yeah. Um, yeah, like I said, everybody's cool over here and stuff like that. But we're having we're having these conversations over here, and I like these conversations. But that's what the modeling industry was, and that's what the industry is now. This is why with black roles, they rather choose an immigrant over a black American because a black American will ace the movie and it will sell. But they think if I can pay cheaper, this movie is going to be dope. But they're not understanding that there's consequences of buying cheap shit. It's not going to be the acting isn't going to be as strong as if you have somebody who has culture to that part. That's like me playing George Wallace. George Wallace is a white man from Scotland that was he was in, I forgot what army. George Wallace with the long ass sword back in the day. That's like me playing a role as George Wallace. You white people will fucking stone me to death if I ever do some shit like that. You like, yo, are you fucking serious? You'll be like, yo, they are trying to infiltrate George Wallace. If y'all ever have time, look it up. George Wallace. He was
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. openly supported Mexican farm workers in California.
But this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna watch this we're gonna watch half of this. This shit's an hour. We ain't got time. We got time, but we ain't got time like that. You know.
All right, let's get Poppin. Let's get Mr. Poppin in here. Y'all raise your hand. Let me get you. Mr. Poppin.
Yes, sir.
Hey, what's going on with you, Poppin?
Hey, man, I just wanted to tell you, bro, I love you. And, man, I've been following you since about 2008, bro. I'm 41 years old. And, you know, I just wanted to shout out your family, bro. Your mother and your father for raising you, how they raised you, because you stand on business and you do so much for the black community, bro. I just wanted to let you know that we standing with you and we're going to rock with
So
you.
I'm gonna tell everybody who's George Wallace. I mean, William Wallace, technically. I always call him George Wallace, but it's William Wallace. William Wallace was a Scottish knight. The first war of Scottish independence. So that's who William Wallace was. He used to carry a long ass fucking sword and shit like that. He used to get busy out there back in the days, but yeah.
And we're going to rock out for you.
Love that.
You hear me?
Hey, Tariq, how's it going today?
Hey, what's up, Jamie?
How's it going today?
I'm good, Jamie. Well, you from Nigeria?
Yes, why do you hate my people?
What makes you think I hate Nigerians?
You tether, you say you call us tether, you say we don't like your people, like we love niggas. Like what's I don't understand.
So you love us?
Yeah, we love niggas, we love your food, we love pork chop, we love your food, we love your dance, we love your people. Like why do you hate Nigeria?
Sir, no. Where are you? You're here in the U.S. with us, right?
My man said we love pork chops. Yeah, Braveheart. Thank you, Tether Dookie outside. Yeah, the ninja from Braveheart. Yeah, that's what it was the base off of. It was based off of William Wallace. Yeah, I don't know if that was Braveheart. I never seen Braveheart, but I know the movie was based off of Braveheart. Go ahead, look it up. Yeah, but that's like me playing William Wallace. y'all will stone me to death if I ever do some shit like that. You'll be like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Like, are we? This is how low we steeping? Y'all really would think that shit is the small hats doing some shit like that. But yeah, William Wallace from Scotland. He was a knight. Yeah. Thank you. Who told me? Thank you. Tell the Dookie outside. Yeah. That shit would have been funny, yo. A black man playing William Wallace. Hey, yo.
Yeah, I just I've been US.
How long you been over here?
About 7 years.
What tribe are you from over there in Nigeria, by the way?
Igbo, watch. You got to say Igbo.
Igbo.
I knew
Igbo,
it.
really?
They all say Igbo.
What's your Igbo name?
Oluwatande.
Oluwatande. That's beautiful. Nobody hates Nigeria more than you refugees who come over here. Y'all hate Nigeria with a passion. I love TikTok Shop though. You can't stand Nigeria. Nigeria is like a tomb to you guys over there. Y'all can't stand it, and y'all project that onto us. We don't hate you. You don't have anything to hate, sir. What do you have to hate?
What I'm saying is, us Nigerians, we come to America, we make America a better place.
How
Like
so?
my
How so?
well, we make black people look good. A lot of African Americans have stigma. So Nigerian black, African American black, but we actually help to cast a good shadow on black Americans. We represent black people.
With y'all know y'all had a festival over there recently where women were getting flexually assaulted, right? Is that the kind of representation that we need?
I mean, no, of course not. I think that the flexually assaulted happens here in America
We
every
don't
day
have whole
among.
festivals. We don't have festivals like that. We don't have a whole festival dedicated to flexually assaulting women, sir. No, we don't.
So what is a Freaknik?
Yes,
Isn't that a festival where you assault women?
no.
Oh,
The Freak
Freaknik is not
Freaknik,
that.
no, Freaknik was not that. Freaknik hasn't happened in damn near 30 years, and it wasn't that.
Rando, Saint Michael the meth head is a potato slave. He's from Ireland. Yeah, he's from Ireland. Shout out to Ireland, but yeah, he's a potato slave. Shout out to the potato slaves and the Irishmen out there, man, with making the best corned beef hash. I love me some corned beef hash and Rice Krispie treats.
When it was happening, and it went downhill when tethers started showing up. By the way, you understand that? It went down.
Mm.
It went downhill when the tethers started coming.
Oh shit!
You didn't mean to do it. Okay, all right, Tiff. It's okay.
Give me a second,
All
everybody. I
right,
gotta
Tiff.
go back.
All right.
Like I look at him as a
So can I ask you?
Let me ask you a question, Saint Michael's, the meth head. Why would they call Black Wall Street Little Africa, and Africa doesn't have anything successful since 4,000 years ago? 4,000. Let me even go, let me not even, they haven't had anything successful for the last, what, 200 years, 300 years. Like, even when they were even selling Africans, they still weren't successful. They were living amongst each other, selling each other. So that doesn't exist. They wouldn't call that South Africa. They wouldn't call that um, Little Africa. You
So
call it
question
Little
No,
for
you
Africa.
can't,
Tariq.
because now when you start talking about my wife is Jewish, man. All right, being a lying
Is
tether.
she FBA, your
Uh,
wife?
yeah, but you know good and well my wife is FBA. Why did
Is
you
her
lie?
mother is her mother FBA?
Why did you lie and say she was a Jewish woman? I love TikTok shop. Why'd you lie?
Is her mother FBA?
Is
Or
her
is she a
mother?
white woman?
Why did you lie and say she was
Oh,
gay?
you dodged that question, Tariq.
But you
Her,
lied.
mo- her,
You
her
lied.
mother is not. You love FBA, but you didn't
But
marry
you
a
lied.
woman who come from FBA.
But you just lied. Why'd you lie?
So her mother's not
Why did you
Jewish?
lie?
I thought was her mother
Why
Jewish.
did you lie? No, she's not. Why did you tell that
Okay,
lie?
I'm wrong then. I
All
thought
right.
her
Okay.
mother
Okay.
her
You're
mother was
musty.
Jewish.
You're musty and lying. Thank you. All right. Okay. That's why we delineate, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Why are we going to try to build something with lying tethers? That's why you can't build nothing in your homeland. We were talking about this earlier. There's these Nigerian
And I'm gonna say
Twitter.
this, St. Michael's. Uh Black Americans did not call Tulsa Little Africa. The white supremacists called Tulsa Little Africa. They called it Little Africa on Fire. You forgot that out. You forgot the little racist thing that they said. They said Little Africa on Fire. Does that sound like some shit that Black Americans will say? I'm just asking a question. It says Little African on fire. It didn't say, oh yeah, they called Tulsa, Oklahoma Little Africa. No, they called it Little Africa on fire. That's what the white supremacists were saying. You honestly, St. Michael's, you got to start reading, man. I get, yeah, it was said, but the white supremacists said that. That's just a derogatory term for Black Americans. No, I'm looking at the Samaritan thing right now. What is it? Let me see what you say. Was it the Smithson's Indian or something like that? That's what you're looking at? It said Little Africa on fire. Tulsa, it says Tulsa race riot 6/1/1921. That's what you said, but it was Little Africa on fire. They called it the Black Wall Street first. White people called it Little Africa on fire. It wasn't Black Americans calling themselves African. Like, what the fuck was we talking about? I'm looking at it right now, St. Michael's. What you said, what you wrote. You said what? The Smithsonian, if I'm saying it right. You said has the proof, right? I'm looking at the Smithsonian's right now. It didn't say Black Americans called themselves Little Africa, nigga. Would you like me to read it? All right, watch this. On May 31st and June 1st, 1921, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, mobs of white residents brutally attacked the African American community of Greenwood, what was it, Conquilians? I don't know what that word is. I apologize. Known as Black Wall Street. Again, known as Black Wall Street, in the deadly racial massacre in the U.S. history. They said nothing about Little Av. That's just the title, St. Michael's. That's just the title. Like, put it this way, am I lying, St. Michael's? Was that the title? Little Africa on Fire. Am I lying? All right, watch this, St. Michael's. I'm going to show you something. This is where you got your shit from. Right? Little Africa on Fire. Right? This is where you got it from, right? Little Africa on Fire, right? All right, so let's read up to here so we can figure out what the place is called. And I'm going to highlight it for you right here. No, we'll do it right here. On May 31st and June 1st, 1921, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, mobs of white residents brutally attacked the African American community of Greenwood. I don't know what that word is, known as Black Wall Street, in the deadliest racial massacre in U.S. history. Homes, businesses, and communities structured include schools, churches, a hospital, and the library were looted and burned or otherwise destroyed. Again, where in the hell does Black Americans call themselves Little Africa? You was just reading the title. That's where you read that shit from. He said he got a pitchfork with a dildo. Okay, he can't comprehend what I'm asking. St. Michael's. Where in history Black Americans called Tulsa, Oklahoma, Little Africa? Hmm? Hmm? No? Okay, okay. Well, we're gonna get back into this. All right, St. Michael's, the meth head.
Twitter pages, all they do is sit up lying, putting up lying stories about Black American celebrities. And that's been a big complaint on Twitter. When you see these stories and it's like, hey, that ain't real. And we look at where the account is from, it's always Nigeria. It's always in Africa. These people just sit their asses up lying all the time and then wonder why we want to delineate and then project their degeneracy onto us. Notice all that projection. He tried to project about baby mamas and all of that. Y'all got the biggest paternity fraud cases in the world. Then he tried to do the last name game. Oh, family, don't y'all let them play that. Don't you better check them. This is why it's very good to know history. He got away from that because he saw I knew what the hell I was talking about. They didn't have last names until the damn 1880s, dude. Don't let them play that last name game. When we knew our last name, they didn't get no damn last names until the 1880s. They don't have ancient last names. West Africans didn't have last names, guys. You understand? Not only that, most of them don't even know what day they were born. They got the biggest orphanages in the world over there. The biggest, they got just tens of millions of orphans running around over there. And again, like I said, over in Nigeria, when I was over in Senegal, I was talking about how the population was hella young. You don't see too many old people. The life expectancy in Nigeria is 54 years old. You understand? The life expectancy in Nigeria is 54. The average person don't live past 54 over there. You understand? That's a tomb. That's a damn graveyard. Because they don't have an infrastructure like that. So an elderly person, you're just not going to survive. You can't, they don't have a society to sustain elderly people. You understand? It is deep. Yeah, you're not going to say nothing. You're not going to come over here and say nothing at all. All right, Olukimi. All right, what's up, Olukimi? What's going on, Olukimi? Let's get Olukimi.
Life.
Okay, well, you weren't born here, but how old were you when they brought you here?
I came here as a kid. I came here when I was 10.
Okay, so you're kind of a big kid. Okay, but go ahead. What's on your mind?
Yeah, so I was just gonna talk to you about what you were saying with Nigeria.
Yeah.
So I think when we're talking about the average life expectancy, it's not that people on average just live to 54, but it's because there's high infant mortality.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people who pass away when they're very old, and there's also unfortunately a lot of people who pass away when they're really young. So that's why it's in the middle. But I wanted to ask you a question.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I don't know if this is changing the topic, but what are your thoughts on the state of the Asian boycott?
It's
You feel like
just
it's going well?
I think it's going well because a lot of these businesses are feeling the heat. They're feeling that a lot of us are not supporting them like they're used to us doing, and we're flexing our power, and we're just not going to give up our resources to people who disrespect us and people who let non-justice happen. So the family's doing good out here.
Yeah, that's good. The Asian boycott is really important. Do you think that this is something that should be indefinite forever, or do you feel like it's just, a short-term limit?
It should be a thing. It should be a whole thing. And you know who else should be boycotting the Asians? Y'all in Nigeria. Y'all need to, because they got Y'all, they got Nigeria on lockdown. Y'all need to be boycotting them too over
No,
there.
a lot of Africans are supporting the Asian boycott. That kind of brings me to my next question. Do you think that when we're talking about the Asian boycott and supporting Black businesses, is that Black American only, or should it also be like Caribbean and African businesses?
Well, the thing is, it's a lot of people, and I understand the argument. A lot of these other Caribbean and African businesses, for a long time, these people have went out of their way to say they are not Black. And when Blackness is in the algorithms and we done put Black on Front Street and we prioritize Blackness, now we got a lot of people out here running around trying to be on some I'm Black and I'm proud all of a sudden. So we just don't want it to be opportunistic. We don't want, just like with Juneteenth. You know, people get on Juneteenth and all of a sudden they start trying to throw these other flags on it. So we don't want people to be exploitive with all of this stuff. So, you know, I understand the arguments on both sides. But look,
Yeah.
there's some cool.
I'll say this. I personally, I don't see nothing wrong with it, but I personally believe it does need to be separated. We're separating a lot of stuff now. I think we need to go all the way with it. You know, and the reason why is when Africans are doing something, you won't have to hold up your flags. You could hold your flags up faithfully because at the end of the day, this is what your culture helped you. You know, and when it comes to Black Americans and Black Americans need to and Black Americans is supporting each other, it shouldn't be divisive or xenophobic that Black Americans is proud of who they are.
There's some cool foreigners. Again, I've met some very cool foreigners who do stand on Blackness. I get it and I respect that. But then you have a lot of people who a few years ago were going out of their way to tell you how Black that they were not. I am not Black. I am Ghanaian. I'm not Black.
That was mostly like Dominicans who were doing that, to be
Oh
honest.
no! Don't y'all put it on the Dominicans? No, no, no!
No, it was them though. It was,
No,
Black and
we know
Dominican.
them. No, 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 no. It was not just them. We know them. It was Jamaicans, Nigerians, Ghanaians, Kenyans. Oh, it wasn't just the Dominicans. Y'all not gonna put it on them. No, no, no. A lot
Yeah.
of them.
And I know you
Niger-
probably have more guests in the queue. I just wanted to ask one more question before you
Yeah,
can
go,
drop me.
go ahead, ma'am.
Yeah, so I also wanted to ask, do you think that it will hurt the longevity of the boycott if it's only Black American, or do you feel like that will hurt the boycott if African and Caribbean businesses are excluded? Because then it'll be just be like, less businesses that people can support.
No, no, no. Cause we still, if certain Caribbean spots we go to be honest, we generally Foundation Black Americans. We don't really go to African food spots like that. We don't really shop in African stores like that.
I
You
mean, like the
understand?
braiding shops, like African braiding
Right,
shops, stuff
right.
like
Now the
that.
braiding shop, right. Now that's something that we will patronize the braiding shops, but as far as any like them grocery stores and stuff, yeah, we don't really get it goosey and all that stuff. So, we'll still rock
I
with
mean,
you.
that's true. Africans support African businesses because a
Right,
lot of people are not used to our cuisine.
right, right,
Yeah.
right.
So do you
Yes,
feel
ma'am.
like, do you think that people will continue to support African braiding shops or no?
Oh yeah, they will. Yeah, they will. Yeah, they'll support that. Yeah, they'll support the African braiding shops. But, yeah, so yeah, as long as the African braiding shops ain't in there trying to jump on people, because there was a situation down in Alabama where some women in an African braiding shop tried to jump on an FBA sister and things went left. So
Allegedly, that lady was Cameroonian.
yeah,
Allegedly.
yeah.
But yeah, that was all I wanted to ask. You can drop me. Thank you for letting me up.
Thank you so much. Yeah, because yeah, if they try to get froggy, they can get boycotted too. Well, all right. What you think? Don't lie to what am I lying about? Said them African braiders putting spells on you. Hilarious. All right, man. Uh, what the hell are you talking about? FBA New Orleans? What the what's FBA New Orleans? What you talking about? That Tariq, what did I say? The hell you talking about, man?
Yeah,
Wow,
they
what's down there, man?
What's up now? What I say?
Bro, you off cold, bro. Nah, we boycotting all of these motherfuckers, bro. Fuck that. Fuck the dumb shit. Africans, Caribbeans, Asians, whatever. Whoever disrespect us, they on that boycott list. Shout out to Black Alpha. He came out with that list last year. Whoever disrespect us, we putting them on that list. We sending it out to the internet, to our people around America. Africans was the first ones on that list, brother. Why you tripping, dog?
How am I tripping?
Africans were the first ones on our boycott list.
Hold on, brother. But you
Malaikum
go to a
salam,
damn African
Ali.
braiding shop, you know there's gonna be some FBAs up in there. Now they're gonna be up in there. That ain't me saying it. Shit, I don't get my hair braided. Damn, you know good well they're gonna be up in
That's
there.
true. I can't argue with that, but I'm
Right.
saying
So what the hell?
Africans were the first ones on the boycott list, bro.
Okay, all right. But there's people still going up in them African braiding shops. That's a reality.
So when she asked you about the braid shop, nah, man, nah. I know for a fact all the women in my family, they haven't been to an African braid shop since last year.
Yeah, but sir, there's women up in them shops. There's women up in them African braiding
Most
shops. That's a
most of
reality.
most of them that I seen in and around Houston, they already been shut down.
Not in no Houston. No, not in no damn Houston. I was just in
And look,
Houston. No,
you know the African and the Caribbean restaurants on Elmeda Street in Houston.
Yeah.
No business, no customers.
Now that I can understand because we don't eat the food anyway. So yeah, we don't really go to.
Nah, they was getting business. They was getting business before this boycott shit happened last year. They was getting business. Yeah, hella business.
We don't. I don't live in Houston, so I can't really speak.
So
to
this
Houston.
that Nigerian guy that called up, is kind of interesting that he didn't bring that up,
Yeah.
because I know for a fact we shut down everything they had on Elmeda Street in Houston. Anybody from Houston can come up here and speak on what I just said, because I know for a fact they only going to the Black American restaurants on Elmeda Street, and that's
Yo, Black Americans is giving Africans heat, man, because all the disrespect. Y'all niggas earned that shit. Let's keep on going,
New
though.
Orleans, showcasing a lot of the black businesses in New Orleans. One of the spots out there, for some reason, closed relative.
I was in the military.
Okay.
I'm doing dental hygiene, and then I'm gonna get my master's and then go to dental school. I want to open my own clinic.
Okay. You haven't done anything to get started on it?
Well, I have my construction loan, but I'm waiting till after I graduate because I don't want to live in Vegas.
Okay. Now, where's your family from?
My mom's from California, born and raised.
And your dad is from where?
My dad's from Belize.
Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay.
Are you gonna call me a tether?
Because when something ain't adding up, that's the tether side. You kind of saying something that okay, something ain't really adding up. There we go. There we go. Yeah, because the arguments are kind of in bad faith. When there's a bad faith argument, usually there's some kind of tether bloodline somewhere in there. I knew something was janky. Where's your dad? Where's he now?
He's at work.
Oh, he lives in Vegas too.
Facts.
Oh,
That's
okay.
true.
How many siblings you got?
We don't really eat a lot of African. I eat a little bit of African food, but I don't eat it like that. It is more of a cultural thing because there's certain things that I do like from Africa. Like I like Ghana's like fish stew, with the rice and shit like that. I like that stuff. I like Benin's cuisines. But once you go further than eating like hyena hush puppies and monkey knuckles and shit and the Hakuna Matata fucking worms and shit with the fufu, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I'm not. I don't want none. I'll save my appetite for something else. And yeah, I swear to God, I seen the nigga eat one of them Hakuna Matata worms, nigga, the Lion King worms. Yeah, the big old white joints. Yeah. I swear to God, y'all think I'm joking. I seen a nigga eat that shit, and I was like, oh my God, that's one of them Lion King worms. Yo, it's crazy.
Okay, there we go. What shit is that? What kind of argument is that? You know.
We there was a conversation about
All right,
the
everybody, I'm gonna
Juneteenth and
land.
how these
I'm gonna land, man.
other cultures appropriate instead of.
Oh man, we got St. Michael's talking crazy. We got niggas doing too much. Shout out to everybody, man. I appreciate everything. I do want to say this, everybody. I'm gonna land. I'm gonna say this. Black Americans, yo, we actually are getting our shit together, and I think this week on my podcast, I'm gonna show y'all that we are getting our shit together, and I'm also getting into some other shit too. We're gonna talk about this week. We're gonna talk about reparations. We're gonna talk about white people. We're gonna have a research show probably Wednesday or Thursday about white people actually being immigrants. You know, they are not native to this land. They are immigrants. They're Ellis Island. Most of these people, or 40% of these people, are Ellis Island babies. So we will be talking about that. There's other stuff that we will be talking about. But the biggest show we're gonna have is on Friday. It's gonna be should white Americans support black reparations? That's gonna be a big show that we're gonna watch, and I hope you enjoy it because it's gonna get good. When I say it's gonna be good, it's gonna really be good. But let me land. Honestly, I'm gonna be personally honest. The shit that we have seen for the last from the last 2-3 years with Africans, we know that they really don't accept us. You know, collectively. You know, there will be some that will be like, yo, that fucks with us. But honestly, a lot of them don't fuck with black Americans like that. You know, so it gets a little bit, oh, excuse me. It gets a little bit difficult when you're dealing with, a certain race, and like the ladies say, we got to stop, handling with these type of people with, open arms. Even when they disrespect us, we actually got to really handle, put the, give them a reality check, saying like, yo, we can fuck your life up, you know. And not in no threatening way, but in a way that say like, yo, if you really fuck around, we can really we could get this shit really popping. But I'm gonna start giving my thanks to everybody. Give me a second, everyone. All right. So shout out to St. Michael's, the meth head. Shout out to Fresh Always. Shout out to Dorsey. Teller Dookie outside. Nice to see you, man. Nice to meet you. Ray Ray FBA, Rando, Ali, Howard, Malaysia. I think that says Malaysia. Yeah, I think that's Malaysia. I think that is, if I'm saying it. Shout out to you. Shout out to Dorsey. Shout out to Robin from Kick. You know, thank y'all for coming on my show and being on the show. This was actually a great show. And I'm sorry I started a little bit late. I thought I had the right. I thought I was on live on this one, but I was on live on the wrong one. So I apologize. And I will see y'all Wednesday. Wednesday, we're gonna have a good show. You know, Tuesdays is usually my business days. But thank y'all for coming on the show. I appreciate everybody, and I will see you Wednesday. Take care.